I just wanted to get this out there real quick. In a time where people seem to be absolutely enamored with experts and health professionals and what they say must go because they're right, they're the experts. I found this article from the Daily Wire very interesting. Stanford professor data indicates we're severely overreacting to coronavirus, and it was kind of refreshing to read because he speaks some common sense. In an analysis published Tuesday, Stanford's John P.A. Ioannidis, co-director of the university's Meta Research Innovation Center and professor of medicine, biomedical data science, statistics, and epidemiology and population health, suggests that the response to the coronavirus pandemic may be a fiasco in the making because we are making seismic decisions based on utterly unreliable data. The data we do have, Ioannidis explains, indicates that we are likely severely overreacting. He says the current coronavirus disease, COVID-19, has been called a once-in-a-century pandemic, but it may also be a once-in-a-century evidence fiasco. I'm just going to skip down here. Check this out. Ioannidis then zooms in on the one situation where an entire closed population was tested, the Diamond Princess cruise ship's quarantined passengers. While the fatality rate was 1%, he points out the population was largely elderly, like we've been saying all along. Look at the Italian population that have died. 81 years and up was the demographic that got hit the hardest, and they had pre-existing conditions. The most at-risk demographic. Projected out on the age structure of the U.S. population, he calculates, the death rate is more like 0.125% with a range of 0.025% and 0.625% based on the sample size. Listen to what he says. Projecting the Diamond Princess mortality rate onto the age structure of the U.S. population, the death rate among people infected with COVID-19 would be 0.125%. But since this estimate is based on extremely thin data, there were just 7 deaths among the 700 infected passengers and crew. The real death rate could stretch from 5 times lower, 0.025%, to 5 times higher, 0.625%. It is also possible that some of the passengers who are infected might die later and that tourists may have different frequencies of chronic disease, a risk factor for far worse outcomes with SARS-CoV-2 infection than the general population. Adding these extra sources of uncertainty, reasonable estimates for the case fatality ratio in the general U.S. population vary from 0.05% to 1%. So this guy concludes that huge range markedly affects how severe the pandemic is and what should be done. A population-wide case fatality rate of 0.05 is lower than seasonal influenza. If that is the true rate, locking down the world with potentially tremendous social and financial consequences may be totally irrational. You think? And then he says, it's like an elephant being attacked by a house cat. Frustrated and trying to avoid the cat, the elephant accidentally jumps off the cliff and dies. And then it says, for those who argue that the high fatality rate among elderly people indicates that the death rate cannot be as low as 0.05%, the professor notes that, quote, even some so-called mild or common cold type coronaviruses that have been known for decades can have case fatality rates as high as 8% when they infect elderly people in nursing homes. Guys, I just wanted to give that to you as food for thought. I'm going to leave this link and the link to the actual article where he writes the opinion in stat in the comment section below, in the pinned comment, and in the description. Let me know what you guys think about this. For the world, the Google Thought Police, and everybody who's overreacting and shutting down the world for something that hasn't even claimed near the lives that the regular influenza virus has, in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.